Yesterday was pretty crazy, even by Albany standards. In the morning, Governor Hochul was like, hey, after more than a month, we finally have a budget deal. She was ready to do a victory lap. But then just a couple hours later, Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie was like, no, we don't. And he didn't sound happy about it. We recap a whiplash day in Albany and sort through what may be next for the state budget on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Clarkson University, offering over 95 programs of study with campuses in the Hudson Valley, Central, and Northern New York. More at clarkson.edu.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Friday, May 8th. First up, two candidates hoping to replace outgoing North Country Congresswoman Elise Stefanik have declined invitations to debate their primary opponents. According to the Daily Gazette, Sticker Mule CEO Anthony Constantino and St. Lawrence County farmer Blake Gendabine have turned down invitations from the Gazette news group. Constantino also declined 3 other debates sponsored by stations across the region. He said participating would, quote, disrespect President Donald Trump, who endorsed him for the seat. Constantino's Republican primary opponent, Assemblyman Robert Smullen, said he wasn't surprised. He said he'd be willing to debate an empty chair in Constantino's absence. Gendabine, a Democrat, didn't respond to a request for comment from the Gazette. His opponent, Lake Placid businessman Stuart Amaral, claims Gendabine doesn't want to be put on the spot about issues that might upset conservative voters. A longtime keeper of history in Canton has died. Linda Casserly was Canton's historian for almost 30 years. She was also the deputy town clerk and tax collector for more than 2 decades. She was 79 years old. Former town supervisor and village mayor Marianne Ashley says Casserly was deeply passionate about telling Canton's story.
She was a part-time employee, but she worked full-time. You couldn't stop her. Her energy was over the top.
Several years ago, Casserly helped move the historian's office and all its artifacts to a storefront on Main Street, which was appropriate because she loved to talk about the region's past to anyone who'd listen. In a North Country at Work story from 2018, she told NCPR about bootleggers in nearby Pirates during Prohibition.
And there are stories about how many men in Pirates were caught on the historic newspaper sites. And it'll tell you they all went to court, and if they paid the $10 fine, then they would be excused. But if you didn't, you went to jail.
Casserly grew up in the Hudson Valley town of Wappinger Falls. She moved to St. Lawrence County with her husband John in the 1970s. A reception and celebration of Linda Casserly's life is tomorrow from 2 to 6 in the afternoon at Eben Holden on the St. Lawrence University campus. A family business in Franklin County has received national recognition. The U.S. Small Business Administration recently named Martin's Handmade Pretzels the 2026 National Small Business Manufacturer of the Year. The fourth-generation family business started in Pennsylvania in 1935. It was moved to Theresa in Jefferson County in the 1970s, then relocated to its current location in Moira in 2020. Owner Josiah Martin visited the White House this week to receive the honor. An SBA representative will tour the Martin's Pretzel Bakery and present regional honors next week. What was supposed to be a budget victory speech has led to confusion up at the New York State Capitol. New York Public News Network reporters Jimmy Vielkind and Samuel King break down the latest from Albany.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hi, Samuel.
Governor Hochul says she and legislative leaders have a, quote, general agreement, say it with us, class,
General agreement
on a nearly $270 billion state budget. Top lawmakers say that isn't the case. So where are we now?
Well, it seems clear that there has been progress indeed, but they're still not at the finish line. So remember, Samuel, this budget was supposed to be done by April 1st. It's now the latest of Governor Hochul's time in office, and it's starting to bump up on school and municipal budgets. Now, part of the problem is that, as we've said, Hochul bit off quite a lot. In addition to all that spending, she's trying to use the budget to pass new laws that scale back the state's climate targets and restrict how local police can cooperate with federal immigration agents. It's prompted weeks of back and forth, and then Hochul finally went into the Red Room. Samuel, you were there. What did she say?
She reported that there have been general agreement on a number of issues, including streamlining the environmental reviews for housing developments and changes to reduce car insurance rates. She had a formal press conference with slides saying, "We got it done." Take a listen.
I said we'd fix the broken systems making life harder and less affordable, from outdated environmental review laws that block New York's housing to the rising cost of auto insurance due to fraud and out-of-control lawsuits. We got it done.
What about the money part of the budget?
She did put a price tag on the final budget, $268 billion. That's about $8 billion more than the proposal she put forth in January and $14 billion more than last year.
Mucho dinero.
See, Republicans say that spending hike is unaffordable. They panned Hochul and ruling Democrats for a process they call dysfunctional. Here's Assembly Minority Leader Ed Rah, a Republican from Nassau County.
I just think we've gotten so far away from having responsible leadership of this state and caring about what it means to pass a budget on time.
Rah first got elected in 2011, so this is the latest budget he's ever seen, and things still aren't done. So, Jimmy, what do Hochul's fellow Democrats in the legislature say?
They say she really jumped the gun. Often a governor will have like this budget kumbaya press conference with legislative leaders by their side. That absolutely didn't happen here. Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie talked to reporters after Hochul. He summoned them to say that things are still very fluid, including the total amount of spending.
I don't know what that number is. Maybe she went a little higher. Maybe it's where she is. But even on the policies that she put out there today, some of these things are still incomplete. We don't even have final language on like CLCPA and even the what to do about utility rates. Like, I just think it was very premature for the governor to make this announcement.
Hastie sent his members home.
Yes, the Albany weekend that starts on Thursday. Well, what's going to happen next?
Well, there will be more talking. Hochul says she's still talking with New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani about exactly how that proposed pied-à-terre tax is going to be structured. I also know the governor and big unions in the state are trying to work out whether they can change the Tier 6 pension law to improve benefits for newly hired workers.
That's big money.
Yep.
I'm watching what final numbers are for schools and hospitals. There's still an open question about whether the budget will do something to help almost 500,000 New Yorkers who lost state-backed health insurance because of the federal law that was passed last year.
Those seem like not small details.
Yeah, not small at all. But lawmakers passed another extender bill to get them through Mother's Day.
Shout out to all the mothers listening.
They always appreciate a card, Jimmy.
That was Samuel King and Jimmy Vielkind, our Albany reporters with the New York Public News Network, breaking down how things stand in Albany as of this afternoon. We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. And if you listen to Story of the Day on the radio at 5:48, but you can't always catch it, don't forget, you can listen whenever you want. Download the podcast. Better yet, subscribe. It shows up on your phone or your iPad or your laptop for free, and it's there for you to Bluetooth in your car or while you're cooking in the kitchen or anywhere. No cell coverage required once it's downloaded, that is. Find the Story of the Day podcast in your podcast app of choice, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. It's definitely there. Music today by Christopher Watts of Canton and Mark Corey of Watertown. Super duper happy Mother's Day to all the moms and grandmoms out there. You make the world go round. We wouldn't be living without you. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.